You and I have gone through so much formal and informal education in our lives. Informally from our moms and our dads and our relatives, and formally from teachers and professors and books and videos. We've accumulated and been taught so many different things: history, geography, algebra, and all kinds of stuff. Where was the class about the brain? The one thing we are going to use forever for everything, somehow that's left out of what we need to be taught as children and adults. How could that be left out of any education, formal or informal? And so in 2015, when we could look into the brain wirelessly, that meant we could look into the brain functionally, not clinically.
Thank you so much for joining us on another awesome episode of Bioenergetics Beat. I'm Heather Gray, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I know, it's a mouthful, and a certified bioenergetic practitioner. And today is brought to you by Nikki, Unleash the Wellness Within. It's a non-invasive, easily affordable, and highly effective approach to optimize wellness. It's a wearable device that puts frequency better based life in your hands and on your wrist. Make sure to stick to the very end because, as usual, we have a wonderful giveaway you're not going to want to miss out on. But you're not going to want to miss out on one thing my next guest has to say because, one, I know he's got a great sense of humor. And two, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite topics about the brain, about emotions, about humanness and how this stuff makes us human. It's not a lot, I love these topics so much because, being a woman and being a man, it, it's just not talked about enough, right? And I don't think we've had enough awareness out there on why this is so important. So I'm super excited to see where this conversation leads. But without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Izzy Justice, yay,
Thank
to
you,
the
Heather,
show.
for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know a whole lot about you. I was peeking around on your bio a little bit before we got on here. Very impressive. Like I said, I love the topics that you're talking about. But tell us a little bit about you and kind of how you got started on some of these kind of more quote unquote alternative topics, right? Because it's not
Yeah,
a lot of mainstream.
yeah. So I'll start where I think it should start, which is sort of my personal pain. I am a brown man from Africa. I am the sixth out of seven children, and we grew up in, I kid you not, nine of us, so seven kids, mom, dad, nine of us grew up in 1,000 square foot home. So
Oh,
we were on top of each other, one bathroom. But by the time I came along, I didn't really have a voice in my family, in my culture, and in the pecking order of siblings. I was very low. And growing up in Africa, I grew up with, some kind of malaise around me constantly. Life there back then even wasn't great. There was nothing really to aspire to. There was nothing really to be hopeful for. In my culture, your destiny pretty much is determined when you're born because of your last name, because of your religion, because of the color of your skin, because of all kinds of things. So, I grew up in the 70s really, where I just really struggled. I struggled with trying to make sense of this world. So that's where it started. I don't know that I've stopped ever since. I have more answers now, Heather, but I don't know that I've stopped. Um, Now, how did I get here? How did I get from there to sort of neuroscience? Is, as I suffered multiple trauma, and so I was always looking for a way to kind of heal myself. And my definition of healing myself was whatever was happening to me somehow made sense. It didn't have to be perfect, but I could make sense of it. And I was failing miserably at trying to make sense of what was happening. And so, because everything that was presented to me, whether it's spirituality or religion or whatever, there was always something about it that just didn't quite work for me. And I'm glad that it works for other people. There's no judgment there. I'm just saying it didn't work for me until I stumbled on neuroscience. So I was already 25 years, Heather, in my professional career, where around the year 2015, so just 11 years ago, and in just another minute, I'll pause. But in my view, the deciphering of the human experience fundamentally changed around 2015. And nobody talks about that. Why was that a watershed moment in time? because around 2015, we could, for the first time ish, look into the human brain wirelessly. That's a big deal. My argument or my claim, Heather, is that the entire human experience is lived, created, manufactured, processed in just the human brain. It's the only place in the universe where a past and a future can come together because everything else is just linear time moving. And, you know, part of the problem, and I loved your intro, is just think about this, Heather. You and I have gone through so much formal and informal education in our lives, informally from our moms and our dads and our relatives, and formally from teachers and professors and books and videos. We've accumulated and been taught so many different things: history, geography, algebra, and all kinds of stuff. But where was the class about the brain? Like the one thing we are going to use forever for everything, somehow that's left out of what we need to be taught as children and adults. So there's a massive void there. Like, if you just think about it in that, how could that be left out of any education, formal or informal? And so in 2015, when we could look into the brain wirelessly, that meant we could look into the brain functionally, not clinically. So clinically, Heather, means something's broken. I have Alzheimer's, I have Parkinson's, something's broken. I have a concussion, like something doesn't feel right. I have a motor dysfunction, like epilepsy or something. Almost all of the research and the technology and the tools and the protocols about the brain were clinical. Something's broken, let's go fix it. There's money there. I can sell a drug, I can sell this. But on the other side, on the functional side, it's just regular people, Heather, like you and I, and so many of your listeners, that we're just at a new stage in our lives. Like, how do I make sense of it? I just want to be the best version of myself when it matters. I just want to stop my brain from thinking about 5 million things. At this point, I'll take 10 things, not 5 million. So that's functional. So like I said, I was 25 years into my career already. And then when the technology was invented, I grabbed onto it and I said, let me see what the brain is doing in the seconds and minutes before somebody does something amazing or wants to do something amazing. And if they do it, meaning they accomplish their goal, did very well, what does the brain look like before and during? And if they don't, if they fail, what does the brain look like before and during? Honestly, I didn't know the answers to these questions. I had a vague idea, but so I started to do that around 2015, 2016. I think I've been told, I don't know for sure, that I've done more functional brain scans than anybody else. And what drives that is curiosity. Like you know, and I because it's a non-clinical environment, I can look at any human being. Because they just want to, hey, look at my brain. I'm trying to shoot a free throw. I'm trying to make a putt. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to finish this book or this chapter. I'm trying to solve this problem. I'm trying to feel something. Or the most common one I get is, Doc, how can I just be present? Like when I'm eating food and I'm paying $60 for this meal, why can I not just taste every ingredient instead of thinking five other thoughts or 10 other thoughts every second? So, so people have allowed me into literally their brains, and I've been measuring these, and I've come up with some answers that I didn't know. And I think I have finally, it took me 60 years, Heather, but I think I have a framework that I accidentally discovered that to me makes the most sense to me. And so maybe to your listeners, it will make some more sense. So I'll pause there and happy to go anywhere you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was part of the reason why when I started hearing Dr. Amen speak, right? Like
Mhm.
I absolutely fell in love with his work because for the first time ever, we're hearing somebody say, this is a group of people, psychologists, right? A group of people who are paid to fix and work on the brain, but never actually see the organ that they're working on. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It was just,
Yeah.
you have this diagnosis and here's this pill, no regards to trauma, no regards to diet, no regards to stress level, no regards to anything. And it never made sense to me, especially someone with a history of Lyme disease and a lot of childhood trauma. My ACE scores were very high. I'm a, an overachiever, and I hit that one out of the park. But so I think that it's awesome that we're able to look at the brain like you are talking about and putting these correlations together, because it's also still so sad that people feel like that they should be able to do something that they can't. And there's a real reason why, if you take a look at it, physiologically what's going on in the brain. So I just think it's amazing that we've gotten to this type of technology. Um, where do we go with that? Where are you located at these days? You're obviously no longer in Africa, yeah?
No, no, I'm not in Africa. No, I came to America in the 80s to go to college, and believe it or not, I've pretty much been in the same spot, which is in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Um, but a good segue is to explore what I found in the brain.
Yeah,
If
no,
you want to go there.
absolutely. So we're going to actually pause real quick for a commercial. When we come back, yes, let's see what you found in the brain. I want to dig in deeper into what do you mean by our mental wellness is our human experience. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Nikki Wellness Technology, delivering frequency enhanced health.
It looks like a little watch, but it's actually a frequency device. It's bioenergetic, so it has this little frequency light situation that goes into your arm.
This is my Nikki. It is a bioenergetic wearable that works by emitting a specific frequency carried by a red light, as you can see on the back. It's aimed at enhancing the body's natural healing process to improve wellness and reducing stress, pain, and inflammation. And to select a frequency, you tap it to wake it up, and then you slide to the screens that list the different frequencies. I have wellness or Lyme on mine. So if we want to pick one, we just tap on it, and you'll see the circles around, and there's a play button, play areas, tap there, and you can see the colors radiating that show that it's playing. And you would also see the red light on the back. And to stop, you just tap it again, and then you can slide and select a different frequency. I'm going to play afternoon. And you just tap, and away you go for your afternoon.
So they're two different things. You have the Nikki device, and then you have the frequency sets. And so right now they have the wellness set of frequencies, and they are absolutely incredible. So I absolutely love them.
Nikki Wellness Technology, delivering frequency enhanced health. We are Nikki.com.
Fantastic. Well, are you on the edge of your seat as much as I am? Like, I want to dig in deeper. I love learning about the brain and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, tell us a little bit about what you found.
Okay, great. So, a really good analogy to have is imagine, Heather, that I offered you this amazing laptop, and I said to you, Heather, I have the most sophisticated laptop in the world. Once you get this laptop, you're never going to need another one. This laptop has all of your past memories. This laptop can access creativity, imagination. It can feel things. You will never need another one. It's just amazing. There's only one caveat to it. And that caveat is it only works well when it's in a good mood. Would you take that laptop, Heather?
I
No.
mean, originally I want to say yes, but I also know how moody I can be. So the answer, yeah, would have to be no.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. Like
Yeah.
when I turn on the laptop, it should turn on and do what I wanted to do. It shouldn't be moody.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that's the level, the standard with which we have accepted ourselves and other human beings. We know we are sophisticated. We know we have compassion and kindness. We know we are creative. We know we can solve problems. But we also know that when we're quote unquote in a good mood or when somebody else is in a good mood, that's optimized. And we know most of the time we're not, and therefore it's not optimized. So I started to look into a brain initially in athletes. So I work with a lot of professional athletes. The good thing about athletes is that the results are immediate. So, for example, if I have a basketball and I'm trying to make a free throw, within a few seconds, the ball either goes in the basket or it doesn't. right? Other tasks like being creative to write a song, that might take a little bit longer. But it's very easy with athletes to see, when a successful outcome is done, when I've been the best version of myself, when I remember what the coach said to me 10 years ago, when I remember based on this shot that this is what my body has to do, what does the brain look like? So Heather, I was in my 30s, get this, when I heard for the first time that the brain has electricity. I didn't know that. Right? So electricity is the language of the human brain, period. And if you think about it, Heather, it has to be electricity. It couldn't possibly be anything else. It couldn't be gravity. It couldn't be light. It couldn't be sound. Because think about this. If you're walking, taking a walk out there in your neighborhood, and about 10 feet in front of you, you see some black thing moving on the ground. Now, that input, the light from that black moving object, those photons got to go through your eyes. It's got to go to the back of your brain, not just to your eyes. Your brain has to interpret that. And your brain says, that's not a stick. It's not a soccer ball. It's a snake. So you label it. With that label, you assign a threat rating. It's not a little puppy dog. It's a snake. So it's dangerous. And then very quickly, you turn around and you jump, jump, and you run the other way. You don't look at the snake and try to hop over it. All of that is happening in about 3 seconds. In less than 3 seconds, you will see the snake, you'll turn around and you'll run. Think of the speed with which all of that physical and cognitive function just happened to protect yourself. So the only thing that can facilitate that kind of, again, cognitive induction, deduction, as well as the motor function is electricity. So when I'm looking into the human brain now, in the seconds before they want to do something amazing, I'm basically looking at the electricity of it. And electricity, think of electricity as a range. At the bottom end of the range, let's say it's 0 hertz. So this is a vertical scale. And on the very top end, for the purposes of this podcast, just to make it easier for your listeners, let's say 100 hertz. Okay, so between 0 and 5, most of us are kind of sleeping. Now that's low on that scale, correct? So it's low because think of what your brain has to do when you're sleeping. It's not eating, it's not thinking, it's not moving around, it's not assessing your balance, it's not processing any threats. So there's very low brain activity. Think of 100. 100, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're in the middle of chaos, you're trying to figure things out. Your brain is full of activity. So electricity is a very good way to measure, number one, where is your brain and what parts of your brain are sort of communicating to each other. Now, here's the kicker. And if your audience takes one thing from this podcast, it would be this. It turns out that every higher human ability and every higher human experience, so two separate things, ability, what I want to do, experience, what I want to experience. So every higher human ability and every higher human experience is happening around 10 hertz. So it's low on that scale, right? Now, the next question is, and when I started to see that over and over and over again, I was like, well, what the heck is so magical about 10? Why not 15? Why not 30? Why not? Like, what's happening in the neurochemistry and the neurobiology of the brain that makes you do everything that you want to do to the best of your ability at 10 hertz? Two magical things happen, Heather, at 10 hertz. One is that sensory input. So we have sensory input all the time. We're seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, listening all the time. But sensory input at 10 hertz, because it's low, the traffic in your brain is low, is amplified. So when someone says, or when you've heard the cliche, I want to be present, I want to be in the moment. So that's a cliche. What are they really saying? They're really saying that in this moment, I want to see as many things as I can, hear as many things as I can, feel as many things as I can, taste as many things as I can. When you're doing more of those things, it makes you feel like you're present. So in other words, being this power of now, the Eckhart Tolle stuff, and being in the moment and not being distracted is nothing more than giving access to the sensory input that's already coming in. Right? So I give people the example of, imagine you've had a very long day at work. It's 5 o'clock. You've had one bad call after another. You got a 30-minute drive home. You put a music playlist on your drive home for 30 minutes. By the time that you get home and I would ask you, hey, what did you listen to? You probably couldn't tell me. The auditory stimulation was there. The music was coming out of your car radio, but your brain was still thinking about a million other things, so there was no room for that auditory stimulation. So at 10 hertz, there's room. And so we feel alive, we feel present. The world is so much bigger because you're amplifying sensory input. So when a basketball player, for example, is making a lot of shots, like one of the most common things you'll hear the basketball player say is, well, the basket felt really big. It's not big, it's the same size. But when you see more things on the basket, it looks bigger. And the second magical thing that happens at 10, and then I'll pause, is our access. This is a key point I want to make. Our access to existing inventory in our brain. Inventory of what? All of your life experiences, books you've read, people you've met, training you've went to, movies you've seen. All of that inventory is in your brain. And at any given moment, you need to access the contextual memory that you already have to bring to bear your best version, right? So if I give you something to do, let's say it's a puzzle, you want to remember everything about doing a puzzle in that moment. You don't want to remember what you do for your car or how to change a tire or something that you have to do. So at 10 hertz, we access the most relevant parts and the most positive parts of what we need to do for the situation at hand. Example, typically when my phone rings and athletes call me or coaches call me, nobody ever calls me when they're doing well. Nobody. They usually call me when they're at rock bottom. And one of the most common things they'll say is, hey, doc, like I don't have confidence. But if you think about what is confidence, what is optimism? If I'm over a shot and I'm suddenly remembering the millions of times that I hit this shot really well, and I remember what the coach said, and I remember how I did it so good just a few hours ago, that access to that type of inventory makes me feel confident. Conversely, if I'm over the shot and I'm thinking, well, that one shot that you hit really bad, trauma, right? If I'm accessing that, then I'm not going to be confident. So it's an access issue. Optimism, happiness, feeling great but the key thing to realize is that the lower the frequency in your brain, the more you're going to access the right inventory to give you confidence. So the trick to confidence is to move your electricity down towards 10 hertz. And that's when you mentioned earlier is we do these things called a neurohack. And I can do one or two very quickly with you that just take a few seconds that are basically engaging the sensory part of your brain, the thalamus, not permanently, but long enough for you to think of what to do next.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love for you to show us a couple neurohacks.
Okay, great. So let's do two, all right? And if you want, we can do more, but I think you'll like this based on your background. So the first one is called 10-10. Please do not start doing it until I say go. You'll be tempted to do it as I'm explaining it. And if you do that, you won't experience it. It'll just take me a few seconds to explain it to you. So don't start. But when I say go, which is not now, I want you to count from 1 to 10 literally as fast as you can, as long as you can say the number. So blah, 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 it's not counting 1 to 10. Just count 1 through 10 as fast as you can. When you get to 10, don't start doing it. When you get to 10, as soon as you get to 10, go back towards 1, literally the opposite, as slow as you can. Don't do this out loud. Do it in your own mind. If you want, you can close your eyes. But basically, count from 1 to 10 as fast as you can. And when you get to 1, just give me a thumbs up. And if for the people listening, I want them to do that too. Any questions? Okay, go. Okay. What did going from 1 to 10 feel like?
Anxious.
Okay. What did going from 10 to 1 feel like?
Like everything slowed down.
Yes. And your face changed. I don't know if we're recording this, but if people are watching it, watch her face. I can tell you the exact moment that you were going back down. So you basically went from this to your face completely changed, right? So when you said completely relaxing, Those are English words, they're labels. If I were measuring you, and I've done thousands of these, I can tell you that your frequency went down.
Hmm.
Now, that what you just did, how long did it take you to do that?
I mean, less than a second.
Well, 10, so maybe what, 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am making the claim that that is the cognitive equivalence of anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes of traditional yoga and meditation and mindfulness. And so in order to do the 10-10, is there something that you need to buy?
No,
Is there a location that you have to be in?
no,
Is there an outfit that you have to wear?
no.
No. So I'm basically telling you that that neurohack that you just did is a way, no matter where you are and what you're doing, if you just do that in your mind. And as you were doing it, I couldn't tell what you were doing, right? Except the moment that your face changed, then I knew, okay, well, she just changed. Something changed there dramatically. And it was much more visible with you. But in any event, so these neurohacks can be done anywhere, anytime, because they just take a few seconds. They're essentially lowering your frequency. I get asked all the time, okay, well, doc, how long will this last? Good question, but
That's gonna
wrong.
be that was gonna be my next question.
Okay, so good question, but wrong question.
Okay.
Because the brain only needs a few seconds to think of the next best step to take. So this is a very different way to think about wellness. So I no longer think of wellness as this permanent state, this mental wellness, this human experience, as a permanent state of being in attendance. It's not possible. I can't do it. And I've written 10 books. I cannot do it. But it's so much easier. Such an easier self-ask and self-care. If I just say, what is the moment today that I need to be at 10 hertz? I need to feel relaxed. I need to feel calm. And in that moment, I'll do a neurohack. Because traditionally, we do neurohacks, but they take much longer. We go for yoga, we go for meditation, we go for a walk, we go on vacation, we go sit on a beach somewhere. Those are neurohacks, but they're chunks of time, right? And you have to go somewhere and change your clothes and buy something and da da da, right? The brain only needs a few seconds, right? Would you like to try another one?
Well, it's so funny though, because through all this whole time I've been told, you raising your vibration, raising your vibration, raising your vibration, and you're talking about lowering our frequency, which is kind of the exact opposite of what a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, no, we want lower frequency,
I mean,
right?
that totally makes sense. I feel like, especially just even doing that exercise and feeling the anxiety, when my frequency is higher, it's scattered, it's not
Yes.
productive.
One of the things that great athletes say to me all the time, and I've worked with dozens of them, is when they're in that amazing state,
Zone. Yeah.
they say everything feels slow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
very common thing that people say. Now, slow, it means slow. 10 hertz means vibrating slower. 100 hertz is vibrating higher, right? So we do want slow. Slow thoughts are almost always better than fast thoughts. Always. When you were thinking slow, you almost listen to someone better because
Mm.
they seem calm, they seem relaxed, they don't seem rushed.
Yeah, go ahead and show us another one.
Okay, again, put your hands together like this, right? And again, don't start until I say go, because then no, you can put your hands together. Right. But when I say go, not now, when I say go, it's very important. I want you to take your right hand, right? Because your left hand is attached to your heart and to your left side. So take it, not now. Take your right hand and imagine that your left hand, which will not move, is a mountain. And the fingers on your right hand are legs. So 3 times, I want you, not now, I want you to imagine that you're climbing very fast up this mountain. So 3 times. After the third time, I want you to do another set of 3 climbs, but very slow. And literally feel how the fingers are touching and the sensation on both hands. So 3 times fast, 3 times super slow. Ready?
Hmm.
Go. So good. When you were going fast, what did that feel like?
Like rushing, again, slightly anxiety, inducing. Am I doing this right? Am I going fast enough?
And when you did 3 times slow, what did that feel like?
It was kind of fun, and I noticed my hand more. I noticed the lines on my hand more. I noticed the light from the computer on my hands more. So it was like I got hyper focused.
Right. You amplified your sensory input. When you're going slow, you really were in this moment. In that moment, if I were measuring you. So even kids with ADD, we teach them how to do the hand stuff because a lot of time they can't focus on a test or a quiz. And so at the bottom of their desk, they'll be doing that when they run into a question that they don't understand. Or
Mm,
even artists. I work with a lot of artists and performers before they go on stage. They'll do these neurohacks because they don't have the luxury of doing an hour worth of meditation right before they go on stage or perform, or an athlete, right before they take the court or the field. So these are simple things that they can integrate. I want people to consider these neurohacks not as a substitute for other good things that we do, but most of the things that we do to relax or to unwind or to de-stress, these are cliches, they're chunks of time, right? We watch a movie, we cook food, we go to a concert, we go for a big workout. Keep doing those things. But most, if not all of those things, we cannot do during the course of a day or in the middle of something. But our brain, we're human beings. It changes every second, sometimes 3 times in 1 second. So we need new tools to navigate this human experience. And the objective is, here's the key objective, in the moments that matter, not all day long, just the moments that matter each day, I want to get to 10. And to me, that's an easier ask.
right.
And so, just to wrap up, I feel like if the world understood that no matter what challenge they have in their life, literally no matter what they have, if they knew that the first response to all human challenges was get your brain to its 10, then the next step will be much, much more clearer. In other words, no matter what happens to me, if I just do a new rec and get to 10,
Mm.
a 10 brain will have more options. It won't make the problems go away, Heather, but it'll make your ability to manage them significantly better.
That totally makes sense. I mean, even when I was doing the hand thing, I mean, I imagine if you were to watch again, go back and watch, I felt the smile come across my face when I was doing it
You
slower
were
because
smiling more.
I felt like a lot of pressure and other crap that I was thinking about. I just felt like I got more space, right? And so I was able
Exactly.
to feel some joy. And so no, I mean that's fantastic because a lot of times when you're in the middle of it and you're constricted and it's like shit, I can't see the trees for the forest, This
Yeah.
is a way to get out of your way and
Yeah.
slow things down.
The human experience itself, this thing that we're all doing, becomes much bigger. The possibilities are more when we're living in those lower frequencies because we see more, hear more, we remember more things. We remember this crazy conversation that I had with my mom in 1975 that somehow bears relevance to this moment in time, right? And that's when you feel completely empowered because you know there's enough in you. You have enough. So for your audience, I would like to suggest that they change the way they think about their mental wellness, because their mental wellness is their human experience. And instead of trying to be perfect all the time at everything, is to simply recognize the moments when you need to be. And I honestly, I pick 2 a day. That doesn't mean I want to be worthless the rest of the day, but I just say which are my 2, I call them game times. Like what are the 2 times that I got to be at my best?
Mm,
And before that and during that, I put everything there. And guess what happens? If I am at the best at the moments that matter, then there's a cascaded impact on everything else. Conversely, if I'm not at my best at moments that matter, like it's the worst part of me that cascades through the rest of the day.
Absolutely. That's absolutely brilliant. And we love our hacks here. Like I said, we were talking before we had on here, and we've got the vagal nerve, frequency. We've got the stress and emotion frequency, and it's, everything to calm and slow things down because you can't rest, you can't heal when you're stuck in fight or flight. So the much as you can get into rest and digest, and that's exactly what this feels like it's doing too for your nervous
Yeah,
system. It's just getting that out of that
yeah,
sympathetic and into parasympathetic.
yeah. Yeah, some people even say that the highest form of human intelligence is the ability to calm yourself down. And I think people have argued that because they know that a calm brain can do infinitely more. And so what I discovered by accident in 2015 by looking into the brains was scientific proof of these stoic or philosophical models that for centuries have argued, yeah, when you're calm, good things happen. But what's really happening is when you're calm, you're at a lower frequency. And when you're at a lower frequency, you just, again, you amplify sensory. You just told me, like, I started to notice stuff in my hand. I saw the light. That's living. You're here. You're in that moment with your hand.
Fascinating. So we are at the shameless plug time of the show. So where can people find out more about you? You said, would you mention 10 books? Is that what you've written?
Yes.
Yeah. So where can people
Yeah.
find more about you?
Yeah. Well, thank you. So my website is, drizzyjustice.com. My 10th book just came out. It's called Life Explained, Chasing 10 Hertz. I talk about this and so much more. I explain it. The last book is my best book. And I put a lot into it to make sure that we can fill that void that we talked about earlier, which is we don't understand our brains at all, which is sad, so sad. We know so much about so many things, but literally the one thing we are going to use for everything forever, we know nothing about. And so it took me more time and effort to simplify the message. It would have been so much easier for me to just nerd everybody out and make myself look good by just showing how much I know. But I didn't do that in this book. I literally spent more time to simplify it, and I wrote it for regular people. I didn't write it for academics or researchers. I wrote it so that all of us could have a language and a set of tools we could use to make sense of the lives that we're living.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, all that information will be in the show notes. Also, make sure to go to wearenikki.com/podcast, enter in BioBeats to get 10% off of your Nikki device. But the way we show appreciation, how much we love our customers, every month we give away one free Nikki device and a 1-year membership to our wellness store. So make sure to go to the show notes to enter. Good luck. Join us every week for another awesome episode of Bioenergetics Beat. Thank you for joining us and have a healthy day.
What is the wellness store, you ask? Let me tell you. Imagine a single place where every Nikki Wellness program, present and future, are ready whenever you are. The Nikki Wellness Store turns that vision into reality, offering a membership that keeps you connected to the most complete library of wellness support programs we've ever created. One membership, infinite access. With a Nikki Wellness Store membership, unlimited access to the full Nikki Wellness library, automatic updates as new programs are released, the freedom to create personalized daily playlists on the Nikki Connect app, and we continually design new programs. Your membership will grow with you at no additional cost. Because wellness technology never stops improving, and neither do you. It's more than a membership. Every wellness store membership begins with the purchase of their Nikki Wellness Technology, a wearable device that delivers wellness programs wherever life takes you. Your membership includes 1 full year of unlimited access to the complete wellness library and all future program releases. After the first year, your access continues with a simple annual renewal fee, so your library and collaborations with trusted global innovators keeps growing without interruption. This isn't just an upward, it's a movement toward a future where wellness technology never stops improving because neither do you. Join the movement. The Nikki Wellness Store isn't just a milestone, it's the future of wellness designed for freedom, value, and constant growth. New customers that join us will automatically get 1-year membership to the Nikki Wellness Store. Current customers that have already owned a Nikki, you will be grandfathered in and given a 2-year membership. And that's a thank you for walking with us for all this time.
There's a new word for wellness, Nikki. Nikki is your personal wellness companion, a sleek wearable device that lets you choose from a variety of programs to match your day. With a simple tap on the Nikki screen, you can explore wellness programs created for different moments and lifestyle. Need a lift? Select energy. Looking to unwind? Tap stress and anxiety. Want to feel more at ease? Choose pain. Heading out on a trip? Try travel to help you feel ready for new adventures. From busy mornings to quiet evenings, Nikki puts a variety of wellness experiences right at your fingertips and on your wrist. Life moves fast. Nikki moves with you. It's a portable way to bring wellness technology into your everyday routine, wherever life takes you. Your day, your choice, your wellness program. Nikki Wellness Technology. Delivering frequency enhanced health. We are Nikki.com. The views, information, and opinions expressed in this content are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Freemedica. Freemedica Technologies, Inc. and its employees are not responsible, nor verifies accuracy any of the information contained in the following content. The primary purpose of this content is to educate and inform. This content does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.